Prior to my recent trip to Thailand, I've been chatting with a few girls on Thai Friendly. Most of the young and pretty girls on Thai Friendly I met turned out to be freelancers. This particularly was not a problem for me because I've been looking for short-term companionship instead of a long-term relationship ever since my divorce. I've decided to take it slow and enjoy the single life. But the problem I faced with freelancers on Thai Friendly is that most would not engage in a meaningful conversation, perhaps because they're only looking for customers or their English isn't very good. However, it is important for me to have some sort of connection with girls before spending a night with them. So, despite adding a few of these beautiful ladies online and exchanging a few words, I wasn't sure I'd meet any of these ladies when I'm in Thailand. One day, I came across a profile of a stunningly beautiful lady on Thai Friendly. She was gorgeous, a 10 out of 10, tall with a curvy physique and bleach blonde hair. She looked like a model in her photos, wearing very classy and expensive dresses. But her profile said that she's a freelancer. I texted her, and she replied with good English, saying that her name is Pim. But before I could ask her line ID, her profile vanished from Thai Friendly. I thought that was strange. Maybe it was a fake profile by a scammer. Anyway, after a few days, I was getting bored of Thai Friendly and decided to check out Thai Cupid. I scrolled through the app for the first time, and I found Pim's profile. I reminded her that we met briefly on Thai Friendly, and I'd like to keep in touch with her online. She remembered me and shared her line ID. We started chatting soon after, and I found out that Pim is an educated girl with good English skills. She is a city girl, born and raised in Bangkok. Although she quoted her rates for short time and overnight companionship, I was keen on taking her out for a few drinks first and enjoy some music and a dance at a bar or a nightclub. She was more than happy to do that, and she seemed very keen on providing a proper girlfriend experience. We kept chatting, sharing photos and videos as if we were in a relationship, which I really enjoyed. Pim also said she had a day job working as an admin officer and does freelancing every once in a while. After a few weeks, I arrived in Bangkok, and finally, the day came when I was scheduled to meet Pim. She said she wanted to meet at a club in Sukhumvit 11, close to my hotel. I went to the club and waited for her to arrive. When I saw her walking up to the club, my heart stopped. She was one of the most beautiful ladies I've ever seen in my life. She wore a sexy night dress, high heels, and was oozing class, turning heads all around her. She was very shy when we met and said, "You're much more handsome in person." All I could say was, "You're more beautiful in person too." After we entered the club, I realized that she was quite tall compared to other Thai girls. Pim also had some work done on her face, so I thought, could she be a ladyboy? After a few drinks and breaking the ice, I gathered up the courage to ask her the question. Pim didn't get offended and said, "No, I'm not a ladyboy, honestly." She took out her photo ID to show that she is. I said, "I'm sorry I asked the question because I thought she was much taller than average." She took off her heels and showed her actual height, a good 4 to 5 inches shorter. We had a laugh. I didn't reserve a table at this club because I thought we'd stay there for a few drinks only. So, we were drinking and dancing on the floor to some nice EDM music. Suddenly, a guy who was drinking at a table by himself right behind us approached me and said, "You can have my table, I'm leaving." I smiled in disbelief and said, "Are you serious?" He smiled back and said, "My friend stood me up, and I'm leaving." I thanked him, and Pim and I moved to his table, which came with a nearly full bottle of vodka, several mixers, and a bucket of ice. I thought this night couldn't be any more perfect. Needless to say, we had a blast at the club, enjoying each other's company. The drinks and the company were good. Pim kept saying that she's so happy that she came out with me that night. We left the club at 3 a.m. when it closed and headed towards my hotel. Soon after, we ended up having an amazing aerobic session. After that, we felt hungry and grabbed some food from the closest 7-Eleven. While eating, Pim shared her story with me. She said she had a Thai sugar daddy when she was 18 for a couple of years. The sugar daddy, who was in his 50s back then, paid her 10,000 baht per week. She used that money to do various cosmetic surgeries, implants, etc. She also bought an apartment and takes care of her mom and dad, who live in Bangkok. She's 30 and back to doing some freelancing since breaking up with her boyfriend a few months ago. She now wants to settle down and have a baby. We slept for a few hours and had another round of aerobics in the morning, after which I paid her for her companionship, and she sadly left my apartment. I was keen on meeting her once before I left Thailand. But unfortunately, I couldn't manage the time to do this on this trip. I'm still in touch with her, and will definitely meet her when I'm back in Bangkok. But that night will remain as one of the most memorable nights of my life.